Now, I don't normally make these types of videos, though the information I'm about to show you is actually something I always look at pretty much every week, especially as I'm in a raiding guild that posts our own Warcraft logs. So it's nice to track which specs are doing good and how I'm doing according to what like other specs in the game are doing. Now, what I'm about to show you is a DPS chart showing the best DPS versus the worst DPS over a collective amount of players who uploaded Warcraft logs through the heroic version of Liberation of Undermine. Immediately you'll notice there are 4 specs that are basically at the top right now. This is Fury Warrior, Subtlety Rogue, Havoc Demon Hunter, and Devastation Evoker. Depending on how they play, they can often get the same end result in terms of their damage output, currently with the Havoc Demon Hunter being able to push the highest amount of damage thus far. Moving on to the next 3, we have Enhancement Shaman, Assassination Rogue, and for once, Windwalker Monk. I do not see myself up here quite often. I play a monk myself. Usually I see myself like at the bottom 30% where this Frost Mage is hidden, but it's nice to see myself at the top for once, and I can definitely feel it as I'm playing. Let me know in the comments down below if your spec has changed drastically from, the previous patch to this one, if you're doing more DPS, if you're doing less, and tell me how it sucks or how cool it is. So these 3 specs are pretty much on par with each other. The next 4 are on par with each other as well. So the Arms Warrior, Outlaw Rogue, Destruction Warlock, and the Shadow Priest are all pretty much performing the same way. Moving down from this, we have the Unholy Death Knight, the Marksmanship Hunter, which is strange to see them in the middle now since they were at the top for quite a while, but maybe this is due to their spec changes because I know Marksmanship changed quite a lot for this patch. We also have Affliction Warlock, Retribution Paladin, and the Fire Mage that I would probably put in a group maybe with the Elemental Shaman as well. Now to divide these specs into a C tier category, we would have the Unholy Death Knight, Marksmanship Hunter, Affliction Warlock, Retribution Paladin, Fire Mage, not the Feral Druid, they are, we'll talk about the Feral Druid. We have the Elemental Shaman, Frost Mage, the Beast Mastery Hunter. Now, Druids are again grabbing the short end of the stick here. Feral Druid quite underperforming over here. Not a very maximum output right now. Might just be that players are not playing this perfectly or something is wrong with it. Same with the Frost Death Knight is also struggling to get a nice throughput. Demonology Warlock is over here too, along with Balanced Druid, which means that Druids are in a pretty bad DPS space according to this graph at least. And then right at the bottom over here, we have the Survival Hunter who is pulling the lowest amount of damage. I know the Augmentation Evokers at the bottom here, but they're more like a support, right? So they're like buffing everybody else's damage. So they've always been at the bottom because they play in a very unique way. They play a supportive role. So it's really hard to tell how much damage they're doing from a graph like this. So I can't really say much about the Aug Evoker. I know they were one of the best specs for Mythic Plus the previous season. If you play an Aug Evoker, let me know in the comments down below how they're doing. Arcane Mage is technically pulling the lowest amount of damage throughput on average over here, as you can see, by quite a big margin. This could just mean that a lot of newer players are trying Arcane and they're not playing it successfully. But technically, the lowest spec for raiding right now is the Survival Hunter because they just don't have the maximum output that some of the other classes can reach. Now, I'm not telling you guys to change spec. In fact, a lot of these specs here at the bottom might be better suited to, Mythic Plus. Different types of content. They might be better at PvP. Take mages, for example. You should also be aware that as the game changes each week and more players are changing and more information comes through, these graph values are going to skew and change. And as Blizzard makes changes to classes, you can often see big jumps in, an increase in damage or a massive decrease. It happens all the time. But this is where we are currently. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave me with your thoughts in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.